First tonight, Governor Gianforte's administration says the state needs to do more to make sure its workforce development programs are all working together. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian was there as Gianforte announced a new initiative to restructure those programs.
Montana leaders say in advanced manufacturing, like the work that Boeing does at their facility here in Helena, one of the biggest challenges is finding workers who are prepared for these jobs. They say that's an issue they're trying to address in a restructuring of the state's workforce training initiatives.
These skills connect to real-world advanced manufacturing careers. The industry needs these highly skilled tradespeople, and Boeing is no exception.
Boeing Helena hosted Governor Gianforte Monday morning as he announced an executive order launching 406 jobs, a new statewide framework he said will unify the state's workforce efforts.
Historically, there hasn't been coordination across these programs, even though all these disparate programs are serving the same people. That's part of what this executive order does.
The new initiative is focused on overcoming barriers to employment and building public-private partnerships. It's centered on 6 industries in need of workers: healthcare, construction, manufacturing and computing, hospitality and recreation, education and childcare, and financial and professional services. Commissioner of Labor and Industry Sarah Swanson says about 100,000 Montanans of working age are no longer in the workforce.
We need to build some bridges back to work, especially in these high-demand sectors.
Leaders said the new framework aligns with Trump administration actions emphasizing training in high-growth industries. But Swanson said Montana has been working on reshaping these programs for several years. I asked Gianforte if eliminating duplication in workforce programs meant the state would be reducing the resources it's putting toward them.
When these programs existed separately, they're not always pulling in the same direction. So the goal is really focused on increased labor participation and expanded opportunities for Montanans. That's more important than any streamlining that might come out of this.
The Department of Labor and Industry is planning events around the state to get more input on this workforce plan. You can find more details on our website. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
It felt great outside today as high temperatures were in the mid to upper 70s and low to mid 80s in most locations throughout Montana. So once again, we did have below average high temperatures for much of the state. We saw that at 85 in Helena and 82 was the high in Great Falls. Right now, it's still mild outside as temperatures are in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s. There were a few isolated showers in central and eastern Montana today, but most locations were dry. Around the Helena area, we had partly cloudy skies and dry conditions throughout the day. A lot of sunshine is in the forecast for tomorrow and Wednesday, and it will be hotter as well with highs in the 80s and the 90s. There's going to be some wind around as we head into Wednesday, which will elevate the fire danger. Now more details about the heat and the wind in just a few minutes.
After eluding searchers for nearly a week, the man accused of gunning down 4 people at an Anaconda bar faced a judge this morning. Michael Brown appeared via Zoom from the Butte Silverbow Detention Center before a Deer Lodge County Justice of the Peace, Ken Walland. The hearing lasted just a few minutes. The judge did not list the charges Brown is facing, but he did ask a few basic questions.
Do you have a current phone number?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you work anywhere?
No, sir.
Okay.
Judge Wallen set bail at $2 million. Our reporter asked for any court documents pertaining to the case and was told none are available. Also, no word on when Brown's next court appearance will be. Brown will remain at the detention center in Butte. The 8-day search for Brown left an entire community on edge, and today MTN's Megan Thompson visited the site where Brown was finally captured last Friday, speaking with the owner of the property where Brown was found and a person who lives nearby about that extensive search.
Here along Montana Highway 1, the suspect in the Owl Bar shooting that took the lives of 4 Anaconda residents was apprehended just a few doors down from here. Now, residents in this area say that they're just trying to get back to a sense of normalcy.
Well, it's pretty quiet. This is about as active as it gets, a lawnmower going.
Dan Sorum lives just 2 doors down from the property where authorities arrested Michael Brown on August 8th near a camper trailer. The property owner asked not to be filmed, but he allowed me to film the location of the arrest. How does it make you feel knowing that it's over?
Well, a little bit relieved, but still not quite. Not quite relaxed yet.
Dan says he's not sure why it took 7 days to apprehend Michael Brown, but he could see how someone could avoid detection in the dense underbrush and the hundreds of sheds located on private properties in the area.
It's pretty easy to duck in and out of everything here. I mean, just the guy was probably half smart. He might have been out of his head, but I still think he knew what to do.
Dan gestures to the south and lists off sheds and trailers on his property and others in the neighborhood. He says throughout the search, officers did not stop and ask questions or relay safety information to residents living between Stumptown Road and Highway 1.
I would just wish somebody to come knock on the door so they could have said, hey, we're looking for him pretty close here, so keep an eye out. Nobody ever stops. So
Michael Brown is currently being held at the Butte-Silverboat County Jail. He made an initial appearance via Zoom where a $2 million bond was set. Charges were not stated at this time. In Anaconda, Megan Thompson, MTN News.
Law enforcement officers from agencies across Montana were in Helena over the weekend competing for a spot on the Governor's 20. That's the list of the top 20 law enforcement pistol shooters in the state. The Governor's 20 competition has been going on for about 30 years in Montana. This year's competition was at the Helena Police Department range. It included a paper match. It challenged officers to shoot with their left and right hands back to the 50-yard line, and a steel plate rack shot for time. There were also some side matches that incorporated movement and dynamic shooting, but the Governor's 20 is more than just a competition. It's also an educational event, bringing together people with a variety of expertise and experience to share ideas.
We're just trying to assemble a group of gun guys, if you will, from around the state that are willing to help and exchange policies and training plans and gear reviews and T&Es and all the stuff it takes to modernize and make sure that your officers have good equipment. We're trying to help be a resource for those things.
Funds raised during this year's Governor's 20 competition benefited the Mason Moore Foundation, which provides grants to local law enforcement agencies to provide programs for special equipment that may not be available through the standard government funding process. 4 people walked away from a fiery plane crash this afternoon at Kalispell City Airport. That plume of smoke could be seen across Kalispell. MTN's Sean Wells has the story.
Calls came in just after 2 p.m. of a plane that crashed here at Kalispell City Airport and burst into flames. Kalispell Fire Chief Jay Hagan tells MTN News that a smaller jet aircraft was on approach into Kalispell City Airport when something unusual happened and they crashed on the runway. Chief Hagan says the plane burst into flames and skidded into a stationary Cessna-type aircraft off the runway. All 4 passengers made it off the plane safely, while 2 were treated with minor injuries. Kalispell Fire and Police, Evergreen Fire, Smith Valley, and Whitefish Fire all responded to the crash.
Responding out of the station, we saw a fairly impressive column of heavy black smoke. We arrived here and found 2 aircraft on fire, and we also discovered the fire had extended onto the taxiway a little bit. Thankfully, all 4 people walked away from this. We did treat 2 people for very minor injuries.
Chief Hagan says the Federal Aviation Administration will handle the investigation. In Kalispell, Sean Wells, MTN News.
I'm Madeline Heath here on Mount Helena, and coming up, I'll tell you how the area has been prepping for a forest fuel reduction project.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Pink and blue flags are all over the trees in local hiking areas, and they're part of an expansive forest fuel reduction project. MTN's Madeline Heath hit the trails and tells us what these flags mean.
You may have noticed trees with these different colored flags while hiking around Mount Helena, and that's part of a forest thinning project that turns these trees into slash piles like the one behind me.
Crews have been up here the last couple of days, I've noticed, doing some cutting, couldn't get on a couple trails that I normally hike. But yeah, overall it's been, I think, a positive thing.
Mike Casper hikes with his dogs up Mount Helena regularly and has noticed some changes recently.
You can see more through the forest and it's kind of opened up a little bit.
It's part of work to thin the forested area. It doesn't just open up space for people recreating, but also for the trees themselves.
The goal of this project is to reduce overall tree crown densities and increase the base canopy height.
To do that, trees are marked with either pink or blue ribbons.
The trees that are going to be retained on the landscape are flagged with a blue flag. We have to create outer boundaries for a treatment unit, and that's the pink colored flagging.
The end goal, reduce the tree density from about 1,000 trees per acre to under 100 trees per acre. That helps keep the landscape and community safe from fire and helps keep the trees healthier.
It not only benefits the community from the standpoint of reducing the risk to wildfire, it also helps the individual trees.
Caspers has already seen this benefit as the tree thinning helped last week's Mount Ascension fire to be contained quickly.
I'm glad they're doing something about it. Obviously, being this close to town, you don't want to have fires creeping in.
Removed trees will be turned into slash piles that will be burned in fall of 2027 and 2028. Reporting on Mount Helena, Madeline Heath, MTN News.
The greater Yellowstone grizzly population is the most studied grizzly bear population in the country. This summer, the research continued in southwest Montana. MTN's Chet Lehman takes us to southern Madison County to tell us about this latest effort.
This is the south end of the Madison River Valley, formed by the Gravelies to the west and the Madisons to the east. And there are grizzly bears in both those mountains. This summer, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks has been focusing on some of those Bruins.
The way that it works is we use natural food sources to attract bears to a location where we can either take genetic samples or we can trap and collar grizzly bears in that area.
The collaring allows FWP to track multiple things: distribution, range, even hibernation patterns. The genetic testing builds on years' worth of similar research from other parts of Montana.
As we're getting closer to the time when genetic exchange between the greater Yellowstone ecosystem and the northern continental divide ecosystem will happen, it's important to monitor that.
This summer's research in those mountains, a continuation of years' worth of research on grizzly bears in Montana, giving state and federal agencies a wealth of information about the bears roaming in this part of the state.
This research has been going on for a long time. This is building on a good catalog of information and research that has helped us understand grizzly bear populations, grizzly bear distribution in southwestern Montana.
This year's research effort will wrap up later this week. The findings will be compiled and added to decades worth of grizzly bear research. The effort will repeat again next summer in another part of bear country. In the south end of the Madison Valley, Chet Lehman, MTN News.
It felt great outside again today, but hotter temperatures are in the forecast for tomorrow and Wednesday, and I'll let you know just how hot the temperature is going to be after the break.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with Chief Meteorologist Ryan Dennis.
Welcome back, everyone. We had beautiful weather today in the capital city. On the Opportunity Bank Montana weather camera, we had a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. It was also dry today, and it felt nice outside as we topped out at 85 degrees, which is still a little bit below average for this time of year. We had a low temperature of 57 degrees this morning. We are in the upper 60s and low to mid 70s, so it is mild outside right now. There were a few isolated showers within north central and eastern Montana today as a disturbance was passing by our area to the northeast, but a lot of the state was dry today with a mixture of sun and clouds. As we go through tonight and into tomorrow, this disturbance is going to work its way away from our area, allowing this upper level ridge to build into our area, and this will provide us with a lot of sunshine, mainly dry conditions, and hotter temperatures for tomorrow and Wednesday. On Wednesday, a cold front will begin to approach our area, so the wind is going to increase on Wednesday, which will elevate the fire danger. That cold front passes through Montana as we go through Wednesday night and into Thursday, so cooler temperatures are expected on Thursday. We will have partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. As we head into this weekend, this upper level ridge will work its way back westward, which will provide us with mostly sunny skies, mostly dry conditions, and warm temperatures for this upcoming weekend. For the rest of tonight, you can expect mostly clear skies and dry conditions. We are going to have beautiful weather tomorrow, mainly sunny skies around the Helena area. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible late in the day in the higher elevations. For the most part, though, it is going to be a dry day. Mainly clear skies tomorrow night, and then as we head into Wednesday, we are going to have lots of sunshine and dry conditions for the entire day. And really, most of the state will be dry on Wednesday, but there will be a few showers and thunderstorms in south central Montana as we head into Wednesday afternoon and evening. The wind was on the lighter side around the Helena area today. It will continue to be light overnight tonight. Tomorrow, for most of us, little to no wind is expected, but along the Rocky Mountain front and the Continental Divide, it will be a bit breezy. Could see some gusts up to 30 miles per hour at times. That wind dies down as we head into tomorrow night, but it will pick back up for Wednesday, and it is going to elevate the fire danger on Wednesday as well. Along the Rocky Mountain front and the Continental Divide, gusty winds are expected on Wednesday. Could see some gusts up to 50 miles per hour at times. Elsewhere, it will be breezy on Wednesday with sustained wind speeds between 10 and 25 miles per hour, and a few gusts up to 40 miles per hour will be possible at times. And again, this wind combined with low relative humidity as well as hot temperatures is going to elevate the fire danger, and there's a fire weather watch in effect for southwestern Montana and the Flathead Reservation, and this does include the southern part of Jefferson County. This is in effect Wednesday afternoon and evening. Due to the combination of gusty winds, low relative humidity, and hot temperatures, we are going to have high fire danger in those locations, so please do your part to not start any new fires. Tonight, low is going to be in the 50s in most spots, so it is going to feel nice outside. Warmer tomorrow than it was today, with highs in the mid to upper 80s and low to mid 90s. And then the hottest day of the week will be on Wednesday, when high temperatures are going to be topping out in the upper 80s and low to mid 90s. Temperatures will cool down for the end of the work week as highs are going to be back in the 80s, and we are going to have partly to mostly sunny skies and mostly dry conditions. And it will continue to be a bit breezy Thursday and Friday as well. Beautiful weather as we head into this weekend. Mostly sunny, dry, and high temperatures will be in the 80s, and then we'll continue to have a good amount of sunshine with warm temperatures for the beginning of next week. In Great Falls, a lot of sunshine and hot temperatures tomorrow and Wednesday. Cooler with a little bit of a breeze around Thursday and Friday, and then mostly sunny and warm this weekend.
Welcome back. The Fighting Saints of Carroll College were back on the gridiron this morning as they open the second week of fall camp in the capital city. The team's coaching staff is still being mum regarding just who will start at the quarterback spot when the season gets underway.